I never thought a single text message could destroy 5 years of marriage in an instant. But 3 nights ago, that's exactly what happened. I'm David, 32, freelance photographer. My wife Sarah, or should I say soon-to-be ex-wife, is a kindergarten teacher. With a laugh that used to be my favorite sound in the world. We built what I thought was a perfect life together. Then I discovered her secret. It all exploded last Monday evening. I was making dinner when her phone lit up on the counter. One notification changed everything. The name stopped me cold, Chris. The message preview said Friday at 8, cannot wait with a kissy face emoji. A kissy face from some guy I had never heard of. We had been together 7 years, married 5. And I had never seen her hide anything. But that emoji, it felt like a slap across my face. My hands trembled as I picked up her phone. Her passcode had been the same forever, our anniversary. I opened the chat, and what I found was worse than I had imagined. Messages stretching back weeks. You make me laugh so hard my cheeks hurt. Missed you today, morning coffee wasn't the same without you. They were planning what they called date night for Friday. There were selfies, her smiling in that park where we used to have picnics. Him with his arm around her shoulders. My knees weakened, I gripped the counter's edge as my world tilted sideways. Every memory we had built together suddenly felt like elaborate lies. When Sarah walked in, hair wrapped in that faded blue towel I got her 3 Christmases ago. She kissed my cheek. "Mo smells amazing," she said. I nodded, my throat constricting around words I couldn't form. Just need to check something, I mumbled. Escaping before she could see my face crumbling. The next few days were pure torture. I couldn't sleep, just lay there listening to Sarah's peaceful breathing. Wondering if she dreamed of him. My best friend Mike caught me staring into space during our weekly basketball game. "Dude, you look like you have been hit by a truck," he said. I just shrugged and said, "Insomnia." How do you tell someone your entire life is a lie? Each night I caught myself studying Sarah across the dinner table, searching for signs. Was she texting him while asking me about my day? She seemed so normal. Laughing at my jokes, planning weekend trips to visit her parents next month. Either she was the world's greatest actress, or I had completely misread everything. I decided to wait until Friday, her date night. Thursday evening, she casually mentioned she was going out with the girls tomorrow. And might stay at Jessica's if it got late. Her voice was smooth as glass. I smiled and said, "Sounds fun, babe." It took every ounce of self-control not to shatter the plate in my hands. Friday night, Sarah spent extra time getting ready. Wearing that navy dress I once told her made her eyes look like the ocean at midnight. She never wore that dress for girls' nights. She kissed me goodbye, her expensive perfume. The one I saved for weeks to buy her last birthday, lingering after she walked out. I stood at the window, watching her car pull away. My fingernails carving crescent moons into my palms. As soon as her taillights disappeared, I set the stage. I dimmed our living room lights. I grabbed a bottle of her favorite Pinot Grigio from the fridge. The one we had been saving for a special occasion. I placed it on the coffee table with 2 glasses. A silent accusation waiting to be voiced. I wanted her to walk in and feel the weight immediately. I sat on the couch, our wedding album deliberately placed beside me. The silence was broken only by the rhythmic ticking of the vintage wall clock. Sarah had found at that flea market in Portland. I kept picturing her with him. Her hand resting on his arm the way it used to rest on mine. Midnight came. I heard her car in the driveway. The familiar sound of her key missing the lock on the first try, it always did. The door opened and Sarah froze when she saw me. Her eyes darting from my face to the wine, the wedding album. "Hey, you are still up," she said, her voice unnaturally high. "Could not sleep," I replied, keeping my tone deliberately even. I met her gaze steadily and she looked away, nervously fiddling with her keys. "How was your night?" I asked, my fingers digging into the couch cushions. "Oh, just hung out with Jessica and the girls," she said, with a forced smile that did not reach her eyes. "Jessica, huh?" I said, my voice low. I took a slow sip of wine. Funny because I know exactly where you were. And who you were with. Her eyes widened, her hand flew to her mouth. David, she began, but I cut her off. Do not, I pulled out my phone, the screenshots of her texts glowing in the dim light. Chris seems like a real charmer. She gasped and sank onto the arm of the couch. Tears spilled down her cheeks. I can explain, she whispered. Explain, I stood, unable to contain the emotions anymore. Explain how you have been sneaking around. How you have been lying to my face. I paced across our living room, past the wall of photos documenting our life together. I trusted you completely, Sarah. I gave you everything I had. She reached for me, sobbing. Please, David, it is not what you think. Chris, he is my brother. I stopped dead, your brother. Sarah was an only child. She had told me that 100 times. What are you talking about? My half-brother from my father's affair. Mother made me swear never to talk about him. I found him through social media a few months ago. And we have been reconnecting. Her voice broke. I did not tell you because I was ashamed. And I knew you would ask questions I was not ready to answer. Then why all the secrecy? Why the kissy face emojis? Why call it date nights? They were not like that, she cried. That is just how we text. We are making up for lost times. I swear, David, there is nothing romantic happening. Show me, I demanded. She fumbled for her phone and showed me a picture. Her and a guy who undeniably looked like her. Same distinctive hazel eyes, same slight bump on the bridge of their noses. Then she showed me an old email from her mother, cryptically mentioning your father's other child. My head spun. Was she telling the truth? Had I misread everything because of my own insecurities? But then I saw it. As she scrolled through her phone, I caught sight of a text to Jessica. I am so tired of pretending with David. I do not know how to leave without destroying him. What is this? I held up the phone, my voice barely a whisper. Sarah's face crumpled. It is not about Chris, she admitted. It is about us. I have been unhappy for a long time. I did not know how to tell you. The room seemed to close in. Unhappy, why did you not say something? I tried, she said, her voice breaking. So many times, but you are always working. Always focused on the next project. You stopped seeing me years ago. Her shoulders slumped. Meeting Chris, connecting with my brother. It showed me how much I have been hiding. From you, from myself. I felt like I had been punched in the stomach. Our entire marriage was broken, and I had been completely blind to it. The photography clients I had been chasing. To build our savings for the family she always said she wanted. Had that dream died without my knowledge? So what happens now? I asked, my throat tight. Sarah looked at me, really looked at me. For what felt like the first time in years. Her eyes held a mixture of sorrow and resolution. I do not know, she said. I love you, David, but I do not think I am in love with you anymore. And I do not think you are in love with me either. Not the real me, but the version of me you created in your head. The silence that followed was deafening. I looked at this woman, the one who had held my hand through my father's funeral, who knew exactly how I took my coffee depending on my mood, and realized I no longer recognized her. Get your things, I said finally, my voice hollow. I need you to go tonight. She nodded and walked to our bedroom. I heard her suitcase zipper, a sound that used to mean adventures together, now signaling the end of everything. When she left the next morning, I pretended to be asleep. I could not bear to watch her walk away. Quiet, reflective tones. Now I am alone in this house that suddenly feels too big, filled with memories that taunt me from every corner. Her shampoo still lingers in the bathroom, the scent hitting me like a physical blow every morning. I keep replaying everything, wondering if there were signs I missed for years. But deep down, I know the real betrayal was not her brother. It was her hiding her unhappiness, pretending everything was fine while slowly disconnecting from me. And maybe my betrayal was not seeing it happen right before my eyes. I do not know what comes next. Divorce papers in sterile envelopes, or painful conversations about what we both really want, or simply learning who I am when I am not one half of David and Sarah. All I know is that I am done living in illusions. Sometimes trust breaks in ways you never expected, and no amount of wishing can put it back together the same way. But maybe, just maybe, what gets rebuilt can be stronger, even if it looks nothing like what you first imagined.